Do you ever feel like you are moving in too many directions when it comes to your homemaking, or have a difficult time prioritizing or getting everything done? That's what we are going to chat about today as I work to keep my home on this warm November day. Thank you to KiwiCo for sponsoring today's video. More on them in a bit. I have been a keeper of the home for almost 16 years now and a mother for almost 15 years now. So I have a few tricks when it comes to prioritizing and getting things done. It can feel really overwhelming when at any given moment you have 10 different things weighing on your shoulders and not being able to figure out which one you should do first. It can almost paralyze you and keep you from even putting one foot in front of the other. I've noticed that with homemaking, a lot of the stress of it that makes it difficult actually is mental. It's not so much that any given task is that hard. It's not hard to wash a load of dishes or to move laundry from the washer to the dryer. Even putting laundry away, none of those tasks are inherently difficult. Even preparing and planning a meal isn't difficult. It's all of those plates spinning at once and figuring out which direction to move into next or what to prioritize to not drop a plate. And then you have a few of those nagging things that are never particularly urgent. So for us, that would be something like catching up on paperwork for the business, something that I have to have done by the end of the year, but have a difficult time pacing myself throughout the year, or building a playground. Luke and I just completed that project, but it's something we wanted to do forever. Washing windows, taking out the cat litter, practicing times tables with the kids, finding an end table to put my new lamp on. I could look around and think of 100 of those tasks that weigh in the back of your mind, but daily life usually comes ahead of those. These kinds of things can tend to play on repeat in your brain while you're doing other things that should be relaxing, should be relatively simple to keep going. But anytime there seems like there's more work than you can actually complete that is all pressing for your attention, you're going to be stressed, you're going to be overwhelmed. I've had time periods of this throughout my homemaking career, if you will. And I've had times where I feel like I have a really good handle on it. And usually when I feel like I have a good handle on it, it's for two reasons. One is I've planned out the necessities, the priorities, and I've actually put them into lists, which I'll go into in a minute here, on how I'm going to actually get them done. And the other is, of course, not taking on too much so that it's not actually true that what I have to complete is more than is possible. This takes a little bit of self-awareness and a little time being a homemaker to get comfortable in your skills, to figure out your strengths, to see what things you can handle, how many balls you can keep in the air without letting them down. This will vary from person to person, and over time, it'll just be second nature to know when you have committed to too much, or the other side of that coin is not being challenged and stretched in your homemaking to complete what it is you are capable of. I'm sure we've all heard the saying, busy people get more done. And there is truth to that. There's a certain momentum that you build up whenever you are in the habit of cooking meals from scratch, of getting laundry done every day, of going to bed with a clean kitchen. Once you are in it, it's actually really easy to maintain. And before you get into that rhythm, into a solid routine of that, there can be this inertia, this rolling the snowball up the hill that makes starting very difficult. It's also true that work expands to fill the time. I find this so often with my business because I have very limited hours to work on it. When kids are napping or outside, because it's so limited, I have no time to overthink it, no time to be a perfectionist, no time to think through systems and strategies that might make it easier. It just has to get done. And that is so true with homemaking as well. In some ways, I can get way more done with my homemaking now in this extremely busy season of life with teenagers, toddlers, baby, kids, everything in between. I am very productive with the small amount of time that I do have. Another pitfall to be aware of is motion versus progress. Oftentimes there are certain tasks that we enjoy. Some examples of this could be planning. Some people absolutely love meal planning, love getting a binder and an organizer and just buying all of the tabs and highlighters and colored coordinated index cards and post-it notes, but struggle to move from that phase into the action, or to sit on your son's floor and organize Legos by color. Those can be really good for some personality types, but they can also be pitfalls because you are in motion. You feel like you are really doing things, and you are, but sometimes we can tend to stay very busy on things that should be moved far down the priority list, because let's be honest, we enjoy them more. I have tasks like this, tasks that I never put off, especially with my business. There are certain things I love to do, certain things it's very hard to get started working on because I don't actually love them. But that is why it's so important to plan and prioritize so that you can be honest with yourself. Am I in motion or am I being productive? So with that, I want to kind of roll into the way I actually plan everything in order to get it done. But first, let me tell you about something that works really well to keep my kids from making too big of a mess, especially during these colder months coming up. Now, one of my key tips is to help kids get outside as much as possible. This was so easy the last 6 months, but now that it's getting colder, I have made a commitment to still bundle them up, even though it's inconvenient to get some outside time. Another thing that we really enjoy, especially on those days where it's very cold, maybe rainy, maybe windy, but honestly anytime because my kids absolutely love them, are KiwiCo crates. KiwiCo is a monthly subscription box with STEAM activities, science, technology, engineering, art, and math. They are educational, but also super fun. KiwiCo has something for everyone. They have lines for babies and toddlers, all the way up to adults. My older kids love the Tinker Crate. The Kiwi Crate is perfect for our 5-year-old. Our strategy with them, if we can help it, the kids get so excited that it's kind of tough, is to open one at a time and have several kids work on it and absorb the information that comes along with it. Each KiwiCo crate comes with several different activities and books to enhance the learning experience and the amount of time that you can spend on it. So it's not just one thing and it's over. There are several different things in each one to tie together one central learning theme. So for example, the Atlas crate has a country or culture around the world that you can learn more through their crafts, their recipes, building something, making something. This one, my son really loves. I love that everything you need to complete the projects is within the crate, so you don't have to worry about running to the store. If your child can read, they can take in all the information on their own. Now for the younger kids, the Panda Crate ships out every other month as opposed to the other ones that are monthly. They have age appropriate activities for 0 to 36 months. Last month in Victor's crate, there was something that I could put on his car seat. He's at that age now where he can look up at it, play with it, enjoy it. And last month's Panda Crate was packed with that. Theodore, who's 2, can actually complete all of the simple puzzles and games that come in the Panda Crate. We just keep everything together in the box so he can pull it out and enjoy it. The pieces are super high quality, great material, so he is still getting a lot of use out of that. As a parent, I'm always looking for things that will keep kids busy but also teach them something, and KiwiCo definitely checks all those boxes. KiwiCo is offering Farmhouse On Boone viewers 50% off your first month with the link kiwico.com/farmhouseyt and the code farmhouse. I will also be leaving that in the description box below. When it comes to planning, I use my good old notes app for absolutely everything. Sounds very unsophisticated, and it really is, but it'd be hard to convince me that I should switch just because of how long I've been doing it this way and how easy it is to track dates and tasks that are priorities. So for example, this Saturday, some friends of mine and I are having a Friendsgiving. And so in my notes app, I have a weekly breakdown every single week of the things that I need to do to get to something like that. So on Monday, it says, put the turkey in the refrigerator so that it has plenty of time to thaw. I will make sourdough bread because I'm in charge of making the sourdough stuffing on Thursday's list. That way I can bake it Friday morning. It'll be cool. And I can make it into the sourdough stuffing on Saturday. Whenever I hear any kind of date or something upcoming, I have one note that I work out of. It works chronologically. Instead of having to go into my calendar app and find the date and click into it, I just have a list of dates. So when somebody tells me that on January 12th, we are going to go to this certain place, if that sounds like a priority to me or something that will fit in with our life, I will just write that under all of the December dates so that it is in order with the rest of the dates. I already have a few dates in there for next June, believe it or not. I have a list that has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I write the word next so that all of the dates that don't actually fall in the upcoming week are under the word next. Each week, I will erase that next and then move all the current week's dates into the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday lists. It's so simple, but what it allows me to do is to take a big picture. So I have all of these dates. Now with my business, I also have a Trello board where I put what blog post and what video I need to make each week. And so I will also pull from that whenever going to make my weekly list. But it allows me to break down Monday through Friday, essentially. I usually have very few things on Saturday and Sunday unless it's like church potluck or party at this person's house. But I get to break those down into very small bits and take large, overwhelming projects and make them manageable. I have really made it a habit the last several years to complete the things that I put on these lists. The key, though, is that none of them are beyond what I can do. Nothing on each particular day is that significant, but it also is something that I take seriously. It's not something that I say, I could just do it next week. Whenever you take large things and break them down into small daily actions, you will be amazed at how much you can accomplish over time with small amounts of time. Homemakers can use this to take things that have been nagging at you and figure out a plan to get them off your mind and onto paper or onto something electronic like I do, and then be able to just focus on the work ahead for the day. Another thing that Luke and I do very regularly is sit down together and talk about how we want things to work. What priorities do we have as far as the kids, the home? What things are we going to simplify? What things are we going to focus more on? And what do we expect of each other in any given day so that we both know what we're supposed to do, not take the weight of everything on our shoulders, but know what we want to accomplish so that we can put one foot in front of the other. I can't emphasize enough how hard it is and how overwhelming it can feel whenever you carry on more than just the day's work. Sufficient for the day is its own trouble. There is so much wisdom in that because there is enough time to complete the necessary tasks. This is what has made the biggest difference as we've had more kids, more responsibilities. I've learned to only worry about big picture things like what's the purpose of my kid's school? What's the purpose of a clean home, a healthy meal, laundry that's put away? It gives me perspective so that little things don't seem as big of a deal as they used to. I still get overwhelmed, but it's when I try to think of everything all at once, not think of the big picture of what I'm trying to accomplish in my home with my kids, the feeling I'm trying to accomplish, the memories, the kinds of adults we're trying to raise here. When I carry those in perspective, the things that used to stress me out so much as an early homemaker just feel so much smaller now. Let's get into some of the practicals that are homemaking routines that have helped me over the years. One is to just keep cooking. Anytime you have a little extra time, an example of this is recently Victor was being really good in his swing. It was only 7 a.m. Hello, time change, really messing us up over here. I put a moose roast in the oven at 7 a.m. so that we would have it for lunch, then went straight into thinking about dinner. If you have more time, your children are still occupied, being content for whatever reason, put together a breakfast casserole for tomorrow or a French toast casserole. Get that in the fridge. Start up a batch of sourdough bread, chop veggies, bring meat in to thaw. Just keep cooking and prepping while you can. Another pretty good routine we've gotten into around here is laundry. I don't need any fancy systems. We simply put laundry as we have it into the washer. When the washer is full, we wash it and then put it into the dryer. And then we have 2 baskets, one for upstairs, one for downstairs. We separate out socks and towels and repeat. Sometimes we have a little bit of laundry sitting in the bathtub that because the washer is full and so it can't all make it in there. Every 6 months or so, I'll have a special load like the slip covers today, but that's pretty much it. We don't really sort. Every once in a while, I will bleach a load like I did today while cleaning the bathroom because I had a curtain in there that was looking pretty dingy. But for the most part, that is our laundry system. It makes it to where we don't have to put laundry away every single day because we have pretty good sized baskets that we just pull from. We have a really quick sorting method that everybody knows about. So if you pull the laundry out of the dryer, you need to be familiarized with that quick sort. But that's pretty much it. About once a week, clothes have to all go into their drawers because the baskets are too full. It's a daily thing. It's constant turning over, but it never overwhelms us. We just keep laundering. Another habit I try to maintain is to limit social media time. Sometimes excess social media consumption can be an example of motion without progress. We watch things, we feel like they are teaching us things that will make us more effective, when in reality, we just need to get up and actually get in motion. Sometimes it's just those extra couple minutes each day that we waste on that. And let's be honest, it's more than an extra couple minutes. That would be the difference in us getting a from scratch meal on the table, starting a garden, throwing together a loaf of sourdough bread, or finally finding time to declutter that closet. If you are a mother of a baby, I'd say under about 6 months, and you feel like there is no way you can get anything done because you don't have arms, can't recommend baby wearing enough. There are even times where I forget about my wrap, where I'm sitting there in the morning, it's 7:30, I'm sipping coffee, holding Victor. I'm thinking, oh, there's so much I need to do. I need to get up. I need to make my bed, make breakfast, do some dishes, do some laundry. It feels like a big task to get the wrap on. But then I get my outfit on, I put the wrap on, put Victor in it, and suddenly I have this fresh new energy to tackle the day. So it's your reminder to, even when it feels hard, to put on your baby wrap and start attacking those chores that are on your list. Perfectionism can be a big obstacle for people. This happens as a content creator, of course. Sometimes I call YouTube a treadmill because as soon as I'm finished with one video, I need to get started on the next. And there are times when I want to overthink that. I want to make a beautiful video with drone shots and B-roll and a profound message. But I've committed with this business to every week getting out some kind of video. And perfect or not, the show must go on. It's the same thing with homemaking. You don't have to make the most beautiful dinner. You can just throw in a chicken and some potatoes, turn the oven on, maybe steam a veggie, maybe not, but call it a night at that. You don't have to meal plan. You don't have to have a chore chart or some kind of sophisticated and organized cleaning schedule. You can walk into your bathroom and in 5-10 minutes make a major improvement, and then do that again in a week without giving it a second thought, without it causing too much stress. You don't have to have a beautiful new seasonal decor. You can work with what you have. Perfectionism can definitely be a big enemy for the homemaker. Another rhythm we have, which can't be understated, is a home-centered life, a priority to be home more often than we're not. Anytime we aren't home for extended periods of time, or even in and out of the house several days a week, these things that are in motion that keep things running very smoothly, whether that be keeping the starter fed and the bread going, keeping meat in the refrigerator so it's thawed and ready for a quick meal, keeping the fridge and pantry stocked with large amounts of perishables, keeping the kefir fermenting and the kraut, or our everyday laundry routine, all come to a grinding halt when we don't focus focus on staying home. Even though our schedules and lives are always changing because we'll add a new baby, it's a new season, it gets dark earlier, or it's cold outside, that changes things a little bit from when it's warm outside. We constantly have to revisit our priorities, look at the big picture, and then break it down into the daily life to make those bigger things happen. That is the strategy in a nutshell. And then there are rhythms and habits to support that. Making sure that we always have food to pull from for simple from scratch meals, stocking up the freezer with meat from local farms, keeping the fridge and pantry stocked with root vegetables and flours and oils and all of the things that we need to keep this operation running. Right now, our daily life, because it is right in the middle of our homeschool year, has a bit of a stricter rhythm and schedule. But again, it's all about simplifying meals, simplifying the laundry, the dishes, keeping on it, finishing the job, and maintaining that momentum of getting done the tasks that need to be done next. About 6 months ago, I had on Ruth Ann Zimmerman on my Simple Farmhouse Life podcast. She also has a YouTube channel, shares tons of valuable homemaking information. We talked about this topic a bit, how to figure out what to do next, how to prioritize, how to get things done as a homemaker. It sounds easy enough, but when you're a homemaker, you have control of your day. You are in charge of figuring out what to do, and sometimes that can be overwhelming. And I loved her quote about just doing the next right thing. Sounds so simple, but it can make such a profound difference whenever we mentally take on the burden of everything that homemaking is, instead of looking at the daily tasks ahead and just doing the next right thing. If you are a homemaker who is struggling to figure out how to get everything done, I hope this video encouraged you to simplify your meals, your home, your schedule, your priorities, put perfectionism and comparison behind, focus on the day's good work, and get up and just do the next right thing. As always, if you are brand new to my channel, thank you so much for watching. Please hit that subscribe button. I make a new video every single week to encourage homemakers to share simple recipes, sourdough, and our family of 10's daily life in our farmhouse.